Hi, welcome to another episode of Building Stuff with Randall. Today we're going to be working on a craft that you might have done before, but I'm going to show you a little different way of doing it. One that has more readily available supplies, one that I think is a little easier to do for younger kids, and one that I think will lead to being a more successful project. And that is balloon and CD hovercrafts. Now, if you were with the club earlier in the year, we did this with the raft kits. And the raft kits did a couple things I didn't like. They used adhesives, they used foam, they did a couple things that I wasn't the biggest fan of. So I'm going to show you my way of doing it, and hopefully you'll have a good time with it, and the kids will too. First up, though, as always, is material list. This is going to be the body of your hovercraft. I like CDs. They're cheap. You can buy like 100 pack of these for nothing off of Amazon. Dollar store has them. If you do not want to use CDs, though, if they are too expensive or you don't have access to them, you can use plastic disposable plates. The paper ones won't work, but the plastic ones, or even maybe the hard foam ones, will work. I wouldn't recommend the hard foam because they'd crack under the weight of working on it. But CDs work best. They're small, they're the perfect shape, they're sturdy, and they have this nice prefabricated hole where with a plate you'd have to create one, and this one's already the perfect size, so why not use it? The next thing is going to be your nozzle, or the thing that air comes, or air is regulated by. This is the old tried true one. This is the one I used. It's a simple film canister, one end with the lid off. You can get these from film stores, like anywhere that camera stores should have them for free. I use these. If not, you can also order these off of Amazon. Again, a 50 pack will run you like $5. The one thing I did like about the raft kits is they introduced these to me. These are the tops of dish soap lids. These are pretty fantastic, actually. I prefer these to what I used to use because if they're not in use, you can close the lid and it'll keep the air still in the balloon. It's easier to get a balloon over this than it is to get onto this. These are just a little harder to come by sometimes. If you have parents and you ask them to save them for you in advance, they can. If not, I think you can order these bulk. I've never tried it, but I'm sure you can. I mean, you can get anything on Amazon. You're gonna need balloons. Normal balloons are fine. 9-inch diameter to 12-inch diameter. I wouldn't go over 12 inches in diameter because the balloon will lean and drag across the table while your hovercraft is going. And you don't want that. You want your hovercraft to go nice, smooth travel, not being dragged down by the balloon anchor. And then finally, and this is where I differ from the raft kits, is instead of using glue or hot glue or tape, I like to use poster putty. This is not poster putty. I'm just going to tell you this. This is actually modeling clay. I would not do this with the kids, but I can do it because I know I'm doing a little bit. But poster putty, it's the same kind of consistency as modeling clay. It's a lot stickier. You get it at the dollar store or Walmart or any hardware store. It's $1 a pack at the dollar store, $1.50 a pack at the hardware stores. It'll be blue. It'll come in these long rectangular strips. You give each kid half a strip, then it should be plenty. I'm just using modeling clay because I was using it for an earlier project and I had it on me and I didn't feel like running to the dollar store because it's 110 degrees outside right now. Okay, so it's a very simple craft. The first step, don't give the kids the balloons right away. They will mess with these balloons, they will inflate these balloons, they'll shoot them around, they'll make that awful sound where you pinch the balloon. Don't give them the balloons when you give them the materials. I would start by giving each kid a CD. While you're passing out materials, obviously explain what you're doing, and then giving them one of these or one of these. If you are choosing to use one of these, they are going to have to stab it. So with the younger kids, that is something you have to keep in mind now. A ballpoint pen will work just great. You take the lid off, take this side, and this is a colored pencil, but give them ballpoint pens. You stick it in there, kind of twist it back and forth, and it makes a hole. It doesn't need to be a very big hole. This hole right here is the perfect size. But if you have younger kids and you're using this method instead of the soap bottle dispenser, you might want to pre-stab them or have the older kids help them stab them. But anyway, once you have this stabbed, it becomes a matter of attaching it. This is the other reason I like these. To the CD. If you notice, it lines up perfectly in the middle. Now, The reason we have to do this is the air is going to travel from the balloon through this hole and then disperse through this hole in the CD. As it's dispersing through the bottom of the CD, it creates a cushion because it goes equally to all sides, and the CD will actually hover on it. That's how this works. If you have kids wondering. But so what you're going to do is you're going to give them the poster putty. They're going to want to stretch it and kind of work it out first. It's going to come kind of firm. They're going to line it up along the bottom of either your film canister or your soap dispenser. And they're going to try to wrap it around to seal it in. Now, give them a pencil or some other tool. I like just pencils or ball pen or tongue depressor might work. And let them kind of seal it in. You want to let them cinch it in. Now, what it should be doing is it should be sealing between your nozzle, whether it be the film canister or the soap dispenser, and the CD. You want it as airtight as possible. The reason I don't use hot glue is for two reasons. One, giving hot glue to young kids scares me. I think they're going to burn themselves. I'm incredibly paranoid about it. I think out of all the crafts I do that involve hot glue, I don't run any of them until I get to junior high. I don't do any with clubhouse level kids. And then the reason I don't do tape is because, well, tape isn't as airtight as you think it is. While tape, especially Gorilla Tape or duct tape, can be incredibly resilient, air will blow it out. It will. It doesn't have the weight required to kind of keep the air from going out to the side instead of at the bottom. Remember, air is going to be looking for the path of least resistance. And with tape, I mean, after a while, it'll just blow. It will. So I like using poster putty. Like I said, this is modeling clay. It'll work. Use the poster putty, though, if instead of modeling clay, because this is going to be a little more of a challenge. I know what I'm doing, but the kids might not. Okay, so before you're done, though, the balloon. This is going to be the trickiest part. First thing, before the kids attach the balloon to it, make them inflate it as large as they can before they attach it. The reason for that is when they're inflating it a second time, when it's attached, they're going to have to do it by blowing in at the bottom of this hovercraft. They're going to put their mouths right here and blow. If the balloon has not already been stretched out, it will not inflate. And they'll hurt their little lungs, and you'll have hyperventilating kids on the floor, and nobody wants to fill out that incident report. So, have the kids inflate the balloon as large as they can. This is a smaller balloon. And then have them let it go. Again, this is a good test to see if you are in control of a classroom or in charge of a session. That if you tell the kids, hey, I don't want anyone making that sound, and then see if you can inflate it without them making that sound. If you do, you're well on your way of doing great behavior management, but that's neither here nor there. All right, next up, you're going to want to stretch the balloon on top of your film canister, or if you're using the soap bottle, using the soap bottle. I don't know why I made that sound effect. You're going to want the balloon, if possible, centered. It doesn't need to be. It'll just help with the inflation. Kind of work it. There you go. The reason I like this, or actually, that is going to be challenging for some kids. That's one of the reasons this is a little nicer, is that you can put the balloon on like that. It's a smaller surface. The other thing about this, like I said, if you close it, air won't really be coming out. With this, air is going to be coming out no matter what. And so they're actually going to have to use their thumb to cover the air coming out if they don't want it going. After that, you inflate it. I'm going to have to do this off screen because I'm going to take it up to my head, but you'll see. So you see it travels around. Oh, I didn't inflate it all the way. But once the balloon is inflated, it immediately starts dispersing air. The air comes out the bottom of the hole, and the thing hovers on that pocket of air. It almost reminds me of like an air hockey puck on an air hockey table, the way it'll maneuver itself around the table. That's one of the activities you can do. You can do air hockey. My personal favorite activity to do this is you have kids put all of these on a small table, inflate them, put them on, and then they're not allowed to use their hands, but they're allowed to blow and try to knock each other's off of the table. The last one still on the table that's still inflated would be the winner. And then this has been Hovercrafts. It's a really fun activity. It's a simple activity, and I highly recommend it.